Christina Jones, and I am the interim chair for the RCAC. I would like to go around and have everyone introduce themselves. I will give some notes, and then we'll move on to the vote. All right, we'll start at Mordecai.
Yes, Philip Bernard, Mordecai CAC.
Thank you.
Judy Coggins, Glenwood CAC.
Joshua Gill, West CAC.
Donna Bailey, Hillsborough Wade CAC.
Again, Christina Jones, Northwest CAC.
Michael Sullivan, North CAC.
Good evening, Deborah Ford, East CAC.
Ulysses Lane, Southeast CAC.
Kate Jaton, Atlantic CIC.
Thank you all so much for being here. I do want to preface this with the vote. We do have a vote coming up today on Southeast, Midtown, and Mordecai's amendments to the bylaws. According to our bylaws, we do need 11 CACs present for a quorum and for us to be able to vote. So I'm going to keep talking for the next 20 minutes, and we're up to 10. We need one more to be able to vote. I do trust that we will have someone come in. I know we have a few absences this evening, so I will keep you updated on that. But moving on to my announcements, I want to open up with our City Council update. So I did speak to City Council at the last meeting on September 3rd. I brought up a few asks that we had previously that has been going on for a few quarterly updates. The first one was for a quarterly meeting with city staff, to which I did get the probable response was my answer. So I will follow back up with that to have our leadership board meeting with the city staff in a quarterly fashion. That way we are in constant communication with city staff, which is where we feel it maybe we're not always speaking clearly with one another. The next ask that I had was for the city council statement, and that was postponed. It's been about 9 months since we asked for the statement. They voted last December to make us our own body, and we're just asking for clarification of what that means, because I do know that some CACs are having questions on how that affects them, and I can't begin to explain it if I don't have the explanation from City Council as to what they voted on. So they decided to postpone it until October because we were having a meeting today. So hopefully we'll be able to vote, and I'll be able to make that announcement at their next City Council meeting, which would be the first Tuesday in October. More info to come on that. And then the last ask that we had was a video. We did ask that the communications department help us outreach to our community by creating a video, and so they did, and they made a video. Sheila, can you I am. It's a great video. I know Sheila sent it out earlier, so I hope you all enjoy.
Citizen Advisory Councils serve as a link between the residents of Raleigh and city government. If you live in Raleigh, you're automatically a member of one of these councils. The City of Raleigh has 18 CACs, each representing a different geographic region of the city. Each CAC elects its own officers and decides its own activities and priorities. You can attend as an individual or you can represent your neighborhood-based organization at your CAC meetings. All meetings are open to everyone. However, you can only vote at meetings at the CAC where you reside. CACs are nonpartisan. They're the only advisory boards to the City Council not appointed by the Council. Raleigh's CACs are a connecting point between municipal government and residents. They provide a way for the city to share information about government activities and to receive feedback from the community. Through CACs, residents and neighborhood groups participate in decisions directly affecting them. For instance, CACs have a voice in planning and development issues. Most proposals for rezoning property go before a local CAC for review. Often a person seeking rezoning will appear before the CAC to discuss the proposal. Each CAC holds regular meetings and everyone is welcome to attend. The meetings provide a forum to share information about neighborhood improvement plans and other neighborhood issues. City Council members sometimes attend CAC meetings to talk about items before the Council. City staffers often appear at CAC meetings to give updates on projects or discuss how the city can assist with different services each department offers. Police representatives usually attend to discuss crime trends and offer crime prevention tips. All neighborhood-based organizations, such as neighborhood and homeowner associations, are encouraged to send representatives to CAC meetings and share information about the CAC proceedings with their members. It's important that every neighborhood have representation at CAC meetings because broader input leads to better decision-making.
Great. Well, I do want to thank the communications department. It's great. So thank you guys very much. That is what we asked for, and they did a beautiful job. And hopefully we'll get some push on social media, and we'll be able to push that out so that more of our residents know that we exist and know what we're about. So along with that, I do want to touch base on next month. So next month, our October meeting, we don't have one scheduled because we do have the recognition awards. I know that we have nominated, I know in Northwest we have. I do hope, Sheila, how many, I know I asked, but I'm wondering how many CACs nominated?
4 candidates, but that may not be everyone that gives me stuff tonight.
Perfect, perfect. So if you do have those, please hand those in. We are 18 CACs, so I really would love to have 18 nominations so that we're
Sheila, did you get all this detail from the Debbie or your chair, your liaison? Our vice chair was handling that, so I'll have to just check with him, but we have one. I can check in the morning. October what? Is that date? October 17th?
18th, I thought. I think it's 18th.
Whatever the third Wednesday is.
Third Wednesday.
Is it 16th?
next month, the meeting would be the 16th, that Wednesday. And do you have, can you just go over exactly where it's going to be and the time frame for us?
We are holding space at the 5 Point Center for Active Adults. We usually start about 5:30, 6 o'clock, or 6 o'clock, you know, folks usually start showing up. And we'll have dinner, and then you all will kick it off. And we usually go until like 8:30.
So it starts at 6, or that's
6
when
with the
people
dinner,
open?
yeah.
Oh, I see. And then the award ceremony starts at 7?
Yeah.
Great, so that we can all pass that along to our residents. 5 points from 6 to around 8:30.
Did Kayla get any from somebody at my CAC? Because somebody said he was going to send one in.
I could check with her in the morning,
Okay.
but
I didn't hear
as
it.
of now. Okay.
I told her and him to let me know.
Okay.
We didn't get anything, so I think maybe we're not going to have one.
What date is that, October?
That's October 16th?
The regular date for us?
Yes, exactly. In place of our meeting, we'll be having that recognition award ceremony. So please make sure that by the end of the meeting, really, because it is due today, that we get any of those nominations in, because I do want to celebrate those citizens that are attending currently, and we want to encourage them to keep coming back and telling their neighbors to come out and see us. Awesome. The next thing I want to touch on is our budget. So something that I have worked with Sheila on, and I'm not sure if we have it today. Do we have it?
A lot of CACs, since the fiscal year began July 1st, a lot of folks haven't spent any money yet. So we're
Right.
waiting for the August to see what the August total is. But my
Sure.
team is pretty much
Perfect.
busy with the exchange, so we don't have the final accurate numbers.
So what we are working on, what I've talked to Sheila about, is at the end of every month, so that for our meeting, we have an update. And I will have a spreadsheet created so that we all see each CAC and what we've spent, because we each get $1,000, and I really want us all utilizing that to spur people to come and join us. So that's something we'll look at monthly. We'll look at our RCAC budget as opposed to our CAC budget. Our RCAC budget will include events like the RCAC Recognition Awards, the Christmas Social, the retreat, and the hotspots. So those are the big four things. So out of that $15,000 that we do get from the city council, we have, just with those things, we dwindled it down to about $1,800, which is what we have for the remainder of the year. So we do spend, I think we do a great job at it, and we have $1,800, so we still have something else to do, and I really want us to pool our heads together and our minds and come up with what we think is best utilized in spurring involvement and encouraging people to be a part of us. So that'll be monthly that you'll see that, and definitely encourage any ideas. Yes, ma'am.
While we talking about money, I had approached Sheila and Araceli about some things that we want to do at the East next year now. And she said that, because I was asking about the RCAC funds, could we use those? And she says, well, we might be able to come to all the other CACs and maybe get some money from you all, at least 8 of you all, so we can have $100 apiece, which would give us $800. So we could use that to get the equipment brought out to the center where we'd like to have this affair.
Great.
It
And
is a
when
health affair.
When are you looking to do that?
We, between this time and October of next year.
Of next year.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I think moving forward, if we can develop a timeline of like proposal, what you want to do with it, so we can present it to the entire body, and then we can have some time to be able to vote on it in our own CACs. That is what we did and helped out Ulysses. A lot of us were able to make sure that he was able to put on an amazing event this
Well,
past
that's the reason
June.
why I'm bringing it to the, folks
For sure.
tonight.
CAC has to vote on there.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it just takes
Yeah.
time. So I'm just thinking.
Outside the CAC.
Well, see, I want to, I'm going to have to get with the people anyway, so
Oh, for
I can
sure.
see just when this is going.
And I'm thinking
when
if we
it'll
do
be.
maybe a presentation, and we have a whole meeting dedicated to it, maybe in January, then we can definitely get that on the dock and get the ball rolling so that we get that for you
Okay.
prior to when you need it.
All
But
right.
a commitment for this fiscal year can't carry over to next fiscal year.
Oh, that's
You know,
right. Our
because
fiscal
it
year
would be budget-
ends.
It would come out of this
in
year's
June.
budget by June 30th,
Right.
but then we would start fresh July
Fresh.
1st.
Yeah.
So we
Just as
kind of have
long
to
as
know
I
when
can
you're
get
going
it
to do it.
before September, October. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll continue talking about it, and let's
Yeah.
plan to have you guys present in January.
Precedent for what we did this year, or last year with Ulysses.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah.
thank you, and thank you very much. So that is the budget. We do need to discuss the nomination committee. Now, and maybe Sheila, you can help me on this, because this is such an interesting time for us. We have on the interim, and then we're not here next month. Are we voting in November? Because that's when we haven't even developed the nomination committee, so we need to present, as by the bylaws, we have to do a meeting of presentations before we vote. So how does that work now?
Chair?
For that,
If
for
you-
any vice chair, if his term
Right,
is
right,
up,
yeah,
so
your term
he's
is
got to
up.
come, and we need a second vice chair. So all of those nominations have to be presented before we vote, and we only have one meeting.
Right.
We have now and then
In
November.
the past, what you all have normally done was actually vote in December or January.
But I thought we didn't have a December meeting because of the holiday social.
Do it at
The
the
holiday.
social.
We do it at the holiday.
can do it.
Meeting for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so that is possible. So we could present in November and then vote
Jan-
in December.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it would be whoever would take your position as second vice chair they would be the interim for the remaining of your term. and whoever takes Mr. O'Sullivan's position will be starting out fresh. So if you were voted into the chair position, then you would do a year. But the person voted into your second vice chair position will fulfill your last term of a year. So they wouldn't be starting out fresh as the person would be for Mr. O'Sullivan's position. So they
But
would just
isn't
be
the second
covering,
vice chair term only 1 year?
it's 2 years.
The second vice chair is 2 years. Understood. And yours is 2 years. Okay,
So that
understood.
person for your old position will be serving the rest of your term and starting out fresh for his.
Got it.
Nominating committee is headed by me,
Okay,
and I go around and say, who's interested?
okay.
And then we look for candidates that we can kind of recommend, and we ask them if they're interested.
Right.
We did with you.
Right, exactly. So that's something that would start now, right?
Yep.
Because, okay, understood. So any other questions about that? Did you want to start that now, or are you starting that after the meeting?
I'll ask all the attendees and anybody who gets to read the minutes, if they want to be on the nominating committee. I welcome as many people as possible so we get a good understanding of who might be interested in becoming first vice chair and second vice chair. And chair.
Right, awesome. Awesome. And so the last thing that I do want to acknowledge, and I do want to briefly talk about before we get to the votes, or possible votes, because we're still only at 10, one more person, is the issue that came up with the downtown CAC. We did have a very lively discussion through emails about this group that had formed, that their intent is to help and to help bring people to the CACs. What happened was they called, we had a discussion, and I said, well, let me talk to the CACs, to the RCACs, and then they went live and did not tell me the name of their organization. So that's how that started. I did have subsequent conversations with them about that was not the appropriate way to go about it, and discuss all of the concerns that we talked about through email. And they do not want to change their name. So I have said that they have no support from the RCAC, but that is as much as I can do, because I can't force them to change their name. They are their own citizen group. I said, I'm more than willing to have you come and speak, and I would love to hear and I understand their intent, but the name is a sticking point for us as an organization, and that we won't have our support until we even have a discussion. So that is where we stand currently with that. I will update you if I hear further from them. What I do want to stress, and I did in the email as well, is that we represent citizens. We represent them, and we want them to be involved. So what I'm trying, that balance has been so interesting in this scenario, because I do want people to be involved, and I do want that interest of helping us. They did have 30 people show up to their meetup last, and I was like, oh, that's so exciting. But there are also rules, and there are also ways of going about things that we did discuss. So nothing is formalized, nothing is, they're not going to come after us or anything. There's nothing they can do. They can't take away the money that we receive. They don't have the same support that we do. They don't get rezoning. None of the rezonings go through them. So there's a lot of stuff. They're really right now just a meetup group. And we'll see if we can continue and grow a relationship if possible, because I would love to partner with citizens who want to help us. But at the moment, we have discussed that we will not be together.
What I don't understand is why they don't work within the CACs. Why do they form a separate group to do something?
Oh, I think they're trying to. It's not that they want to do separate. They want to work within the CACs, but what their issue, the reason they formed was because in kind of like that woman who asked to move to Midtown because her neighborhood butts up against Midtown, and she wanted to know about their stuff and be able to vote on things that were across the street from her. That's the same thing that they discussed. They said, there are a lot of things that happen downtown where it may change, the vote may be right across the street from me, and I want to know about it. So the reason they did the multiple that affects multiple CACs is because of that.
Do that now. If there's a zoning case that is borderline, both CACs get involved.
Right, but they don't feel that we didn't. They had a few issues that they brought up, which I don't remember off the top of my head, where they felt like they weren't informed. And so they wanted to form so they can be more knowledgeable, which is totally, I think, a great thing to want to, and all they want to do is tell people which CACs to go and see and visit and be at their meetings. Again, it's the beginning framework of it, so I do think there's definite work that can be done to make it clearer, but I also don't want them to look at us as, oh, they just want to say no, and they get frustrated with us because we're here for them. So how we bridge that gap and make sure that they understand that we are a resource for them and not an adversary. I just don't want to bring them here knowing that the frustration may overpower the initial the intent.
I don't think we should condone anything until they change the name.
Well, that's what I said. Yeah, we didn't. And we didn't condone anything. We did pull, I did say that there is no support, at least until they come and discuss, and we have an open discussion about it. So there is no support moving forward until that happens.
I just want to make one comment. It's very confusing for people. They are not a CAC. They are not, this was all done through the city. As we know, we all have bylaws. We have, things like that. So I think it's just really confusing for them to kind of just say, well, we're a CAC too, when they're not.
Right, and we discussed that, and so I do hope that moving forward, they see that what the issue that we have with it goes, but I also want to acknowledge that they had 30 people coming out, and I want to support that because I want those 30 people to come to the meetings. So it's this it is a weird situation that we're going to keep ironing out as we move forward. No solid answers as of yet, but we look to do that in the future and support our citizens in becoming more involved. Okay, so we are at 7:20.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. I just had a comment because we want to keep it positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as far as what I hear now, they're just another, they're a community organization.
Yes, sir.
The conflict they have, of course, is, I don't know what CAC stands for, but it confuses the operation organization that we have with the city now. And based on that, really, we can't, we just need to clarify that CAC is not part of this process of this CAC. Because we want to keep it positive, but we want to avoid that confusion that may develop.
Exactly.
And if we want that kind of support and community engagement, we don't want to cause any further confusion.
And that's what I relayed to him. I said, and the CAC means exactly what is Citizens Advisory Council, and what they like, what they're trying to do, and I don't necessarily agree with how they did it, is that they want to be aligned so that people go, oh, CACs, now that's what you mean, and don't want to be completely separate from what we are. But I did acknowledge, and I discussed the exact fears that you're talking about, that we all talk through email. So I will give you an update as my conversations continue, and then we will work on building a relationship with them. All right.
I did make the suggestion online. I still think they should come here to this forum and address the real CAC.
Right, and I did say that as well, but I wanted to give it a breather. I didn't want them to come this month for many reasons. One, because we had a vote, and then secondly, because I want us to be able to have a constructive conversation with them and not bring the emotions that I know that came out before. So I'd like us to take a breather beforehand so that we welcome them instead of pit our angers towards them. So again, we will keep this conversation going and keep it in a positive manner. I'm so sorry, guys. That was my computer. Okay, so minutes from last month. I hope everyone had the chance to review, and I will love to hear a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, the minutes have been approved. Thank you for that reminder. I appreciate that. Okay, I did not want this to happen, but according to our bylaws, we do need 11 CACs, and I want to confirm that with Sheila. We do have 10 present right now. So are you saying that we cannot have a quorum and we cannot vote? It's not enough. Okay. I tried, guys. I tried to wait. I tried so hard. So
Can we still discuss things and just not
what I would
vote?
love to do is make those motions so that we are on the same page, so those have a record of exactly what each amendment is. So if we can, I would still like to go through the explanation and discussion process. And otherwise, we will have to do it. I'm just afraid we'll have to do it again at the next meeting. Do we do it twice? I'm not sure. I've never been in this situation before. So Sheila, can you guide us?
I think we should discuss it. There's obviously people here in the audience who've come to listen, and it might be, you want to wait till we have a quorum?
I'd rather vote if we can, but it sounds like
We can't.
We can't. And I'm so sorry. This is not, I know we had some people last minute decide, say that they couldn't be here. And I apologize for disrespecting anyone's time. And I know you guys have waited a long time for this, and I really wish that it was different, but right now I can't.
So I think we should probably talk about when would be the next possibility.
The next
bringing
open is
this.
November.
Okay, we did have some planned for November, I think, don't we? Didn't we when you and I and Shelley scheduled out the stuff?
I mean, we did. I don't remember off the top of my head what it was, but it wasn't anything that can't be pushed back. There were discussions.
So that would be 1, 2, 3, the 20th of November.
That's right before Thanksgiving,
Oh, that's
right?
the night before Thanksgiving? No,
Yeah, I
there,
think you're gonna
it
have
is?
trouble there.
We're gonna have trouble there.
No, here, November.
No, it's not.
Okay, so it's
so
a week
it'd be the
before.
20th.
A week away.
November 20th.
Or do we need to take a vote on voting, or do we just assign it to that day?
I think you can schedule it.
We could just schedule it that way. Okay, I regret to inform we do need to move that vote to November 20th, and I apologize for that, and I apologize to Midtown as well and to Southeast. I'm really sorry that we aren't able to vote today. But we'll talk about it and make sure that
They're not here.
Midtown's not here. I thought they were sending someone.
Well, they may be watching.
Well,
Okay.
They're here.
I think Patrick may have been traveling, so.
Okay, well, we are going to then move our vote to November 20th, and whatever was on the schedule, we will reschedule that, and so that is the vote that takes place, only the vote. All right. That's all I have then, guys. I would love to open the floor in case there is something for the next few minutes that we feel needs to be addressed. I open the floor. Go ahead, Ulysses.
Just a couple things I want us to keep on the schedule. During our retreat and a couple times, we had talked about recognition for officers leaving CACs. I don't think some CACs may do it on their own, they may not. I suggest that there should be some type of letter or certificate or plaque from the city council and the RCAC to leaving officers. Because these are volunteers that are doing a lot of work, and it needs, so the CAC may recognize them, but I think the RCAC, and so it may be something that could be signed by the city council and the RCAC officers that go to that outgoing officer. And that's something that I mentioned, and I think we need to keep that on some kind of schedule to do those kind of things. Because we get a lot of volunteers doing a lot of work, and they need to be recognized. We have just the Neighborhood Recognition Award. That's the only thing we have. The CACs, I'm not sure what your CACs do for your outgoing officers. Does everybody recognize their outgoing officers? Some do, some don't.
We do it East. I don't
Okay,
know
you
about
see what I'm saying? So at least that should be some kind of standard that can come from us.
I love that. I mean, I do think that sounds like a committee that I would love for you to head up. I think you would be great with that because you have such great ideas.
We try to come with some comments. I can come with some suggestions and comments that we can consider at our November meeting, maybe.
I would love that.
Yeah,
Yes,
that'd be
let's
great.
consider it. I love it.
Time that this
I'll make sure their time. They do, but right now we'll have the first 20 minutes, just like we did today. So we'll make it happen.
Can I?
Yep, please do.
So Boundary Committee continues to meet. We're working on a survey
Right.
to be distributed to CACs, be put on our Facebook pages, be put on RCAC page for people to tell us what their opinions are so that we'll know better across the city how people feel about size, boundaries, numbers of eligible voters, whatever. And it's going to be a really simple survey. It's only got like 4 or 5 questions, so it's not going to take forever. we've whittled it down from, originally we had like 20 questions, and we whittled it down that we only need to know a few things.
Great.
So
Do you, did we
I was
do it on
hoping
the
to have
Survey
that
Monkey?
today. I didn't get it.
No, that's, and I remember when I came, it was, we would discuss doing it online. Is it going to be paper, or did we move to doing it online like a Survey
We'll do
Monkey?
it through Survey Monkey.
Survey Monkey, okay.
Yeah. It's being developed by a Midtown person who I thought was going to give it to Patrick, and it would be here tonight for us to look at, but
Right.
it really wasn't on the agenda because of the thing, but now we have a couple minutes to talk about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, great.
It's still going, it's slow. I figure by the time I leave next June, it'll be done.
It'll be done. There we go. All right. Any other points of discussion that anyone would like to bring up to the floor?
Motion?
All right, a motion to adjourn.
I move.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
well,
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay.
Proud as RCC.
It's not normally this late, so. All right, well, thank you all so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you all at the recognition awards. Oh, do you need a head count? How do we do the head count for the caterer?
Once I figure out how many people from the forums, we kind of estimate. Like if one group has 4 people coming or 3 people.
Okay.
Plus the 18 CACs, the chair and the vice chairs and the secretaries.
Sure. I'll send out an email and see if we can get a head count.
Spouses
Yeah.
or significant others are.
Yeah.
Are they allowed, spouses to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, great. So I'll send out an email tonight,
Okay.
and we'll try and get that for you. Is there anything else you need from us in the preparation? Is
Once
the mayor
we-
going to be there?
Well, if you all want us to invite her, we could send an invite.
I know that she was there last year, so I was just wondering, I
We
don't
could
know
do
how
the
that
invite.
happened.
I could send her an invite if you all wanted
Sure.
to.
I'd love that.
Yeah, but this is
You have to do it a little ahead of time to get on the
last year for her.
Is it possible to also, because that'll be October 16th, that'll be after the election, is it possible to invite the new candidates as well? I know you can't do it now, but
Right.
would that be possible to just have them come?
It'll be
When do they take
close.
office?
Oh, they don't take office till this, oh, never mind. So just the current council and the current mayor.
Okay.
And will there be a group picture? Like we have, okay, and it'll be streamed. It's usually streamed.
They usually do B-roll. That's how you got the CD,
And
DVD.
I adjourned before, I'm of course thinking of all these questions now. The hotspots, I haven't seen them yet. They haven't come to my
Well,
CAC.
we voted to agree, but I thought you all were looking at which community centers really had internet, didn't have internet, because what we discovered, maybe it was at yours, where the community center where you all met at, the bandwidth wasn't even strong enough to pick up from the hotspot, to pick up the signal from the
So have we
hotspot.
already purchased them?
No, we
Oh,
haven't.
Oh, we just voted for the allotment
Right.
of it. Okay, so we
We
need
talked
to,
about cost. I mean, if you want me to go ahead and order them, then
well, I don't want to pay for something that we can't
yeah,
use.
that's not really used, because
So,
you couldn't really use it for yours. Somebody had to use their network from a phone in order to stream it.
So
The hotspot,
make a plea to the city to improve that situation?
I believe they're probably working on it, but I will have to double check. Yeah, because certain, yeah.
That's really not right.
no.
So what is, you can, I guess I make a motion that we ask the city to give us what their plan is to address those.
Make a motion after the
Not a motion, I'm sorry. Yeah, the meeting's over.
So maybe we can ask them to give us some feedback on what their plan is to address that in the areas where we meet with CACs. And at least we'll know. We'll have to guess.
Yeah. I'll research it. Okay, well, I don't mean to keep you guys. I didn't get to use my gavel. Have a great evening. Thank you.